They don't trust people. They feel like they're on the wayside. They're thrown away. So the challenge is how to close that gap, to know that, for them to know we care, that we do love them, that we do respect them, that we value them and their opinion and what they have to say, because a lot of what they say isn't valuable to helping us move forward and continuing to move our generations forward. So here's my it's more than for me to answer your question, Brother Muhammad, than it is with a challenge. I'm always a challenge person. We have to bring it from social media, because it's a social media age, to coming to the table. Mm-hmm. So right now, this is an era that still does business at the table. This is a generation that still does business in a meeting room. We have to figure out how to get the youth to come to the meeting room and join us at the table, or be able to figure out how to get to them and join them at their comfort zone. Either way. But we got to get them from behind social media and what they're saying, because I don't know if you know in your forum, most businesses are not done. I don't care if it's a drug deal. Mm-hmm. I don't care if it's maybe business is done, but not the actual transactions. Not car deal. I don't care if it's a babysitting transaction. It's not done on social media. So y'all get where I'm going. Mm-hmm. We have to get to some medium where we could do the actual sit-down transaction, so we can hear them, get to where we want to be, and then we can do the discussion part of that. And what does that look like?
And I was going to, so what would you, that's what I was going to ask. What do you recommend? Because a lot of times, as you said, they do feel like their voice isn't heard. And then also what I found too, just me and CJ been in this fight for a long time. Behind the scenes, we've done a lot of boots on the ground. Mm-hmm. But what I found as been doing this work, that a lot of people aren't willing to take somebody under their wing. Mm-hmm. And so for whatever reason, especially in our community, mm-hmm. we feel like, somebody's going to try to outshine me or take my position or do whatever. So they don't want to take, they don't want to take somebody under their wing and mentor them. And that's the problem. So youth get frustrated and like, well, shoot, I'll just do my own damn thing. So what would you recommend because I know a lot of youth that want to get involved. How would you recommend, what are some steps or things that they can do to get involved? And would you personally be open to mentoring someone who's a young person that would like to get involved in politics? I pose that question to both of you guys.
Sure, I'll answer first. I would mentor somebody. Actually, there's a group, it's kind of behind the scenes, that's looking to mentor, because we're getting older. We're not old, but we're getting older, that's looking to mentor black people that want to get into politics. When people think about politics, only thing I hear is council, city council. There are umpteen political positions to get into. The only one is not city, county council. You got school board, you got state, you have treasurer, auditor. I mean, if you look them up, there's umpteen. I think, but maybe because that's the one you hear the most or more visible is city council. But the answer to your question is yes, because I'm looking for somebody for me. The other answer to your question is also they should get engaged in, the first step is actually maybe not politics. You have to understand I did community work before I got into politics. You have to understand what it is. And I won't say you pay your dues, but when older people say pay your dues, what they mean by that is you need to know what it is to do before you get in that position. Right. And I'm going to break this down so people can understand. When I go to have surgery, my doctor didn't show up and say, I want to perform surgery on you, sign this paperwork and give me your money. I'm going to do surgery. He went to school. He went to undergrad. He went to graduate school. He went to specialization in whatever surgery, and then annually in so many other years. And then he goes back every 10 years and he does a state board certification. No offense, young folks, but nowadays y'all want to pop up and say, I want the highest position there is and give it to me. I'm not disrespecting nobody, and I'm not saying y'all don't deserve it, but at some point you got to pay your dues. You got to show people that you can not only do it, that you deserve it, but that you can maintain it, sustain it if we turn it over to you. That's all we saying to you. Am I willing to groom somebody? I've had 2 people this past week ask me to they want to be a city councilor. Can I talk to them? And I said, yes. If you get me past November 5th, they inbox me, I will call you. And they gave me their cell phone number. Number two, how I say also get involved, it's so important is what's going on in our local community and neighborhood. There are community groups, especially on the far east side. Every side of town has at least, I guarantee you, at least 3 forms or some type of community group. That's outside the HOAs. 3 community groups. Join one of them. That way you can figure out what's going on. How can you be a city county council person and inform and educate others or help others and you don't even know what's going on? Come on now, let's just talk to me. I don't want to preach, but I think I'm saying something.
Let me jump in there real quick because she made a good a point that I wanted to kind of push back on a little bit. She had mentioned Sister Lakeisha. I want to say she was mentioning about how we need to get them off social media. Well, my recommendation would be to meet our young people where they are. Because a lot of times, because there's so many millions of young people on social media, maybe we need to create some type of template to where, like these discussions, like Cassandra was saying, if we create a template, then they can have something to look at. So I think sometimes when we're so quick to not necessarily judge them, but their way of doing things, sometimes we just got to just fine-tune it. Yeah. Because social media is powerful.
Absolutely.
It's an information.
Yeah, and I don't think she was saying.
Yeah, that's not what I was saying, Brother Muhammad. I wouldn't judge her saying that. What I'm saying, when you do social media, just like today.
You got a lot of social media prophets. I know what you're saying.
And then another thing, once you put it out there, you can't. If I'm grooming somebody, I might need to give you, I might need to say, come, as my pastor say, come here.
Right.
Make sure you stay at the mic.
You can't do that on social media, sir. There's certain, if I'm grooming you and I'm teaching and educating you, I'm sorry. I'm just not going to do that.
And I'm not saying that's the only source. Social media should be the only source. What I'm saying is a lot of people are on social media, but they just need some grooming. We need more platforms like this to be able to, since they're on social media, why not have more of these type of programs on social media to groom them? Now, we can bring them into a space and, like you said, have some fundamental training so they can understand how to have the ethics, the language and whatnot, and they can understand that. So I'm just saying, because a lot of people be listening, they like, man, get off social media. What does that mean?
I didn't say get off, but Brother Muhammad, have you been on social media and been attacked by these young people?
We got some interesting
I'm just not interested in grooming nobody on social media that wants to attack everything I say, and it's for the public to see. Yeah. I'm not interested in that. Maybe you all are. I'm just not interested.
No, it's a balance.
Yeah, I think that pool of people who are
and I do got 2 young people on my campaign. They're under 30 or right at 30 and running hard for me. I mean, they've been champions on boots on the ground and so proud to see them. I got one young lady I've been grooming her since she's 12, and I'm about to cry thinking about it. The things I've seen this young lady, her car broke down. And I said, and at the same time last night, somebody hacked her account for $1,300. I said, come get some money so you can go still get your car fixed. She said, nah. She calls me Mom. She said, nah, Mom, I'm going to figure it out. I said, well, you got a lot of other stressors. Let me help you with that. You could pay me back later, and then we can figure it out. And she said, no, I'm going to do X, Y, and Z. I'm going to use you as a last result because you taught me X, Y, and Z. And she said, everything you taught me, I am now utilizing because you've been there because her mother's not able to do some of the things that. And she said, you're able now, thank you, to teach me some things and to see this young lady going to the woman she is because of the grooming. Y'all, we just got to stand in the gap.
Right.
That's
right.
Yeah, and I'm going to back you real quick. When you're saying the attacks, I have seen, the attacks, and I'm glad we kind of segue. I'm not going to call anybody out, but it bothers me because you don't have to stoop to that level of attacking people on social media because, like you said, once you put it out there, it's out there. And on top of that, as a people, we already got to fight the others. We don't need to be fighting each other on social media. So I hear what you're saying. No, that's inappropriate. The attacking, you do have to put your dues in. You can't just 25 years old walk off the street and say, I want to be a city council. No, you need to go sit your butt down, learn under somebody, and then in maybe 5 or 6 years, then come back and say it. But don't attack the people who's been boots on the ground doing the work. So I support you. I have Keith knows I've reached out to him like, hey, I don't even like the attacks that are going on. So you have my support publicly. You have my support publicly. all of the shenanigans that's going on.
I do believe that there is a separate pool of people whose day-to-day desire is to go out and attack people in certain areas just to, continue growing their brand, and that's all good. Kudos to whatever their motivation is, but you know who it is that are really out there trying to get some answers, and those people, I would ask them to inbox me. My information is easy to find, my telephone number, my email address. So even those guys who I'm not addressing specifically, if they want to talk, I will welcome that, because that's where it all starts. Not the initial conversation that we've ever had is an attack online. I think that's crazy. And I've lost a lot of respect for people who I've respected for 30 plus years, because I've known their names for 30 plus years as being activists in our community. And they just don't approach the situation like they're really trying to solve a problem. They're approaching the situation like, I'm about to gain some shots off this cat, and I'm not really the one to get points off of. Further, that's not my struggle. My struggle is really what's going on in my community. That's all I really care about. I don't really care about helping nobody out. So typically, I don't react to those things, and it's a challenge because I'm human. I have thoughts, but I just remind myself that I'm being led by God. Mm-hmm. God is my leader. He's got me in this role for a specific reason. He knows that he's shielded me from the pitfalls that not only the city and the community in this country created for me, but some that I created for myself. Mm-hmm. He helped me avoid them. And now I'm here today at this age. I got to give back. I got to do what I'm doing. So those small distractions, they really don't bother me the way they should. Mm-hmm. And, they certainly could. They certainly could, because it ain't hard to find me. I'm from here. I didn't just move here 5 years ago. I've been in the city all my life. So it's easy to find out who Keith Graves is. What you're going to find out is that I was baptized at 16 years old at St. John Missionary Baptist Church, and I gained a relationship with the Lord. So now He is a leader of my life. Sometimes, and I do wear a crown. I do feel like I am a king, but sometimes I may not act like it. So with that being said, you're going to also find out that I am a father. I am a member of 13 years of the military, United States Army Reserves. I'm a college graduate from Indiana University. I've managed nearly $250 million for the last 22 years of my life as an investment professional. Prior to that, I worked in city government. So, I'm from the city. I'm the least likely to have made those accomplishments in my life. But all I can do is just say thank God. So with that being said, I looked up one day and I said, wow, I've created some amazing relationships in this city from my years in city government, from my years managing assets for my clients, from my years in leadership in the military. These are unique relationships. These are unique accomplishments, unique responsibilities that I've picked up. I must give back. So really, that's my main goal. That's my main focus. That's my main goal, is to share what I've gone out in this world and picked up.
So we're going to transition to the Black Agenda question, because that is the hot topic right now in this city. You have a group of folks who are creating an agenda, and I had a group on last show, and we talked about it. I'm all for a Black Agenda. My issue is a lot of times the people that need to be at the table are not at the table. Mm-hmm. So why is having a Black Agenda important to you as a counselor? Why would you say having a Black Agenda is important?
I think having a Black Agenda is important because if you're not at the table, you're on the menu. Let me start there. And the late Bill Crawford used to say that all the time, and that even comes to even us having our own Black Agenda. Two, it sets the stage and premise as to what we as a people expect, not what we ask. And I was listening to you earlier, Craig, Council Graves, saying the ask should be there, and I got what you were saying, but it's what we are telling you, not what we asking. This is the challenge. We ask too much. We have enough power that we need to start telling folks what we require.
That's right.
I remember out of the movie, it says Steve Harvey was saying, young ladies, the problem is with y'all with men y'all are asking men. You need to start requiring men. And I know I started using some of them techniques, and that is true out of that. And I know this is far, don't compare the book to what's real life for people. And I think the challenge is that we actually we need to come together and unify. I was going to say this as we were talking. Our other challenge is we want people to give us something we're not giving ourselves. We're too divisive. The reason they ain't gave us no black agenda and we don't have one